Hey guys, this is Moo Power here doing another commentary. This time it's going to be Protoss versus Zerg matchup. And this RU Smiker is quite the devious fellow here. I played him a few times before recording this one. And he's one of those tricky Zerg players that just likes to cheese. So I know to I know scouting will be very valuable against this kind of player, and I can't really resort to just my standard macro plays. Um, I think the first game he did some kind of Zergling all in, and now he's just trying to taunt me for some. I don't know what it is with some Zerg players, but I think players attract a certain kind of personality, which I think is cool. Just I think with Protoss, it kind of attracts the people that like strong units and sturdy and kind of consistent power. And Zerg people are more of like it's kind of like a personality test, I guess. So Terran is like very static but very strong kind of unit race, and Zerg is a tricky one. So, and especially in Protoss versus Zerg matchups, Zerg can be very deceitful. There's a lot of different strategies that they can go for. When Protoss fast expands, Zerg can do numerous things, such as Zergling all in, Hydraling or Hydra Bust, where they go 3 hatchery Hydra, and when you're fast expanding, you pretty much only invest in like a couple cannons, and then you try to macro it up. But then the Zerg will try to exploit the timing where you're vulnerable and you're not producing units yet, because you invested a lot of defense at the start, and then you're now just teching up, and then while you're teching up, they basically mass hydras and then kill you if you don't make cannons in time. So that's another thing, and they might go mutas, 2 hatch muta, or 2 base muta. So sometimes you have to, like, if you basically, what I'm saying is, if you don't scout, you can't defend on all those different strategies, because you need to have cannons either at your main for against mutas, or if you're dealing with a Hydra bust, then you need cannons at your front door. If you have a Zergling all in, you need to make sure you pull off probes to block from the Zerglings getting into your cannon line. So it's a lot of things to be aware about. So here, notice how I'm taking a second probe out. That's just in case he takes out my first probe, because if Zerg locks you in your base where all their Zerglings are speed upgraded, there's no way to outrun the Zerglings, and they'll catch every single probe that you try to sneak out of your base. So that's why it's best to preemptively sneak out a probe, and then that way when the time comes when you need to scout, just for those timing things, then you can see what they're up to, like a Hydra bust or whatnot. And you see I scouted, he's doing some proxy hatchery, which he tried the last game, and it surprisingly worked because I was just so busy macroing and I didn't pay attention to the minimap. So that was kind of an embarrassing loss for me. But here, the same trick won't work twice on me, so I know what to do against this. This is not hard to deal with. I think he just is one of those new players that just likes to cheese, and that's all he can bank on. So as long as you deal with these kind of players and you kill their cheese, it's really easy to beat them. It's just at the start, if you're not too careful, they can beat a better player if you don't scout properly. So that is frustrating sometimes for some people. So that's why I make it a mission to help you guys improve that and make sure you know how to block these stupid strategies. So yeah, the reason why I have probes along with my Zealots to fight is, if you think about it, Zealots do 16 damage per strike, and Zerglings have 35 HP, which means it takes 3 hits, 3 separate hits to kill a Zergling, unless the probe does 5 damage, which that's why with a probe and a Zealot, it just takes 2 hits to kill a Zergling. You see that? The probe definitely helped out with that battle, and that helps clear out that hatch or this stupid hatchery proxy. Now, for some reason, I was focusing on the hatchery, but I should be attacking the sunken, making sure that he can't solidify his defense. And I don't know, like I should have done a little bit better job of targeting that sunken colony that's forming right now. But it's just game sense like that. Just need to practice, I guess. So now I'm trying to target the sunken, but it's too late. It's already formed now. So I got to deal with these Zerglings, otherwise they're just gonna kill off the Zealots, and then I got to retreat for a bit. But now I got more reinforcements, and he has a longer route for reinforcements, so I should be able to clear up this pretty easily. But to be honest, I shouldn't have taken this many casualties if I just microed the Zealots properly, because they were attacking the hatchery for the most part, but I should have just been attacking any new creep colony or sunkens that were trying to form. That way I wouldn't be even taking any damage after that. He would just have a useless hatchery. But yeah, just a little tip there. But yeah, I was just kind of focused on multitasking, that I didn't keep track of what the Zealots were hitting. And here he's building another sunken, which I don't know why he's doing that, but here I know he barely has anything because he committed a lot of resources to that proxy hatchery. So he is kind of screwed here because I'm targeting his drones, killing off his workforce, and his economy is crap because he's just been producing Zerglings, he's been making sunkens, spending a lot of money, and he doesn't even have a lot of, I mean, he has decent worker count, I guess. It's not too bad, but 2-base Protoss versus a 2-base Zerg, it's clear that Protoss has the advantage. So here he's trying to block the ramp here, so I gotta get up the ramp and basically take out his spawning pool and this main hatchery if I can. So yeah, I'm just trying to harass here, trying to take down the pool, and then making sure that I don't just automatically target the pool. Like, I'll still attack the pool whenever I have the chance, but then when the Zerglings come in to try to harass and attack, then I attack the Zerglings. So here, he does a good job of trying to block these Zealots, so that Zealot will die. But I managed to sneak one through, and I get rid of his pool. So he's going to be set back because he lost another tech building. And while if my multitasking was a little bit better, I would be already getting a Corsair out, because you see how my minerals and gas are stacking up. That shouldn't really happen if I was multitasking properly. And yeah, so I'm just gonna build up more gateways and get more pylons because I was supply blocked, and I'm trying to scout to see, just in case if he has a third. I don't want him to come back into this game, so definitely wanna snuff out any expansions he's trying to do. So you see he's committing to making a lot of Zerglings, so that's less drones for him. So his economy is really bad. If he's only having 2 bases and he's constantly having to make Zerglings, that's less drones for him, and I have full saturation with 2 of my bases. Now I just gotta start massing up gateways and taking up to Corsairs and High Templars and Archons, things like that. In a match like this where they don't have a lot of Hydras, it's best to just form the Archon with the High Templars, because I mean Storm can wipe out the Zerglings, but I'd rather just have consistent power at that point. I mean, the Archons do enough splash damage as it is, and then it's kind of hard to maneuver the High Templars. So here I just kind of run in, like, yeah, that's a lot of Sunkens and Zerglings, but think about it, like, he has to constantly build more Zerglings, otherwise he's just gonna die to my next attack. So you see, I get rid of his Zerglings and just struggling to get up that ramp. So he's defending it well, but finally I get up the ramp, and now his economy is constantly being attacked, and he has to evacuate those drones, and I'm attacking the hatchery now. So things are not looking for good for Zerg. He just overestimated, or he underestimated what I was capable of, because losing to a proxy hatchery, I admit is embarrassing, but I think he underestimated me as a player after he won with those stupid cheese strategies. So it serves him right, just I guess get back at him for doing that. So yeah, basically getting up my third base to Zerg's third base. I noticed he got a hatchery there, so I gotta deny that. And and he doesn't have any lair tech anytime soon, or any spire to combat more to combat my Corsairs. So I pretty much have free reign over the map, and I can hunt down his overlords and set him back even further, because he has to spend larvae on overlords and more money on them, and he can't make any units while he's supply blocked. So that can potentially lock Zerg out unless they build spore colonies and they finally are able to defend their overlords. But but yeah, I'm not too impressed by my multitasking and macro this game, but I thought it was just an interesting game to show you guys, because it's just kind of how to deal with cheese. And I build my robo because the next logical thing that Zerg would do is get lurkers to try to compensate for his lack of army. So I don't want to get caught off guard with that. So you see here, he's just now getting his lair. So that is super behind. He can't really combat against my Corsairs. And look at that. All he has is Zerglings and Sunkens. Like he can't defend against this push. The Archons just do too much splash damage. It'll just melt those Zerglings. And all I got to do is just reinforce and send more troops on their way. And yeah, so those Sunkens just die. And that's pretty much it.